Morning, girls.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Okay. Now, before we start, does anybody have any questions?
No.
Anything? Okay. So nothing from the previous chapters. Good. Let's see. And this is going to be about what we'll call is okay, real time imaging, and which is going to just determine a kind of resolution that we'll call temporal resolution. Okay, so the ones that we just talked about, which was axial resolution, lateral resolution, and elevation resolution, these were all, that's okay, we can say, okay, examples of, or could be as okay, spatial resolutions. Okay, resolutions in terms of space. Whereas this here is going to be a temporal resolution in terms of time. Clear? Okay, and when is it that we will argue about whether we have a good or on the other hand, bad temporal resolution is mainly if we, for instance, are checking on a structure which is moving. Clear? Okay. Now, by moving, it doesn't necessarily mean that as it changes its position. That could be one way of movement. But even if a structure, for instance, stay in its place, but constantly changes. Let's say its size, for instance. Okay. So that's all this it stays in its place, but at one time it's this big, then it gets this big, then it gets this big, then it goes back and become, because it's smaller and smaller, smaller. Okay. So even that is going to be considered as a movement. And what would that mean? Or what would be an example of a good temporal resolution? Is that we are, if we, for instance, we're able to constantly, follow, let's say, the change of, let's say, the size. Okay. Whereas on the other hand, bad temporal resolution would be that in one instance, we see that, okay, yes, this is the shape or the size of the structure, for instance. The very next thing that we know is that we see it like this. Then in the next frame, yes, okay, we will see it back like this. So what we actually are doing is, okay, what were we? We were missing all these as, okay, consecutive changes influence as, okay, the shape here. Or even as, okay, if you talk about as, okay, a structure that was moving, you could say as, okay, if you follow that movement as, okay, where it physically moves from, let's okay, one place to another, you can say as, okay, an example of a good would be that you actually as, okay, will be able to follow its movement. See the first here, it's here, then 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 it's here, like this. Whereas, okay, as an example of a bad temporal resolution will be that, okay, as we see it here, but the next thing we know is, it ends here. The next thing we know, we see it here. So what mainly as, okay, happened here, you are not able to follow. Exactly likewise, okay, as what happened here, you are not able to follow. Whereas, okay, if it was a good temporal resolution, whereas, okay, we could see that object constantly as, okay, changing its position, okay, and we actually as, okay, be able to follow its movement. Did that make sense? Whereas, okay, if it was bad, well, look at us. We can make this, okay, we may have a blackout here, we may have, okay, as a blackout here. Did you guys get that? Okay, so this is pretty much, okay, as what this chapter here is going to be about. Okay, so what is going to be, yes, okay, what was the resolution? Again, yes, okay, ability to accurately, yes, okay, display a structure. Clear? Okay, okay. But here is okay when we say is okay temporal resolution. Temporal is going to be as okay resolution, accuracy pertaining to time. Clear? Okay, okay. Now we will only as okay try to strive to get a good temporal resolution if you are looking for an object that is moving. Did that make sense? Okay, let's take an example of a car. Now, if a car is parked, that's okay. What would that mean? It's not going to be moving, right? Okay. Now, you take a picture of that car now. You take a picture of that car now. You take a picture of that car now. And mainly it's okay. You can say it's okay. Run them one after another. Since this car did not move because it was parked, well, okay, yes, your temporal resolution doesn't really matter. Clear? Okay. But, if that very same car, yes, okay, now starts to move. Okay. Now you take a picture now, then you take a picture now, then you take a picture now, then you take a picture now. What's going to happen? In each picture, or as we, as okay, later on we refer to as, in each frame, the car is going to be in a different place in your frame, right? Or in the picture that you took. Did that make sense? Clear? Okay. Okay. Now the more as okay accurately you were able to just okay follow as okay that smooth movement of that car as it was moving around, you can say it's okay, I have a good temporal resolution. Whereas okay, yes, in one instance, you see the car here, in the next frame, it's over here, in the next frame, it's over here, and the next frame, boom, over here. What happened? You missed the movement from here to here. You might have missed the movement from here to here. You might have missed the movement from here to here. So that will be a poor temporal resolution, because what happens in that time where you missed the frame, where you missed the movement, you may not know. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
So this is mainly all about how do we make a movie of our ultrasound? Yeah, okay. Now, guys, there's going to be two, three things. We can say it this way. Now, guys, there are going to be two terms. Now, the way that's the sequence in which the book takes it up, I don't like it, so I'm going to go in my own way. And that's going to be something that we will refer to as the T frame. Okay, there's something that we pretty much throughout this chapter here will refer to as a T frame. Okay, now just to make it simple, the T here mainly stands for time. That's when we say T frame, that means the T mainly stands for time, or we can say the time that it takes the system. Clear? Okay, that is going to be the T of your T frame. Clear? Okay. The next question just comes, what do we mean by frame? Now, frame here is we can mean it as will mean that as it take that it to, because it's create one single image. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Right, okay. Now, on your phones or on a camera, every click you take or make, what do you get?
A picture.
One picture, right? Okay, so that single picture here in ultrasound is going to be what we will refer to as a frame. Okay, now just to put it in this way, guys, you took that picture, you printed it out. What are you going to do with it?
Frame it.
Frame it. Here we go, right? Okay, did that make sense? Right, okay. So that single picture that you took, and you printed it out, yes, okay, you can put it in a frame. Clear? Okay, so what your T frame is going to be the time that it took the system to create that single frame, that single image. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Clear? Okay. Now, anything when we talk about time, okay, because that's it is. This T frame here mainly was the time that it took the system to create one single frame. or if you don't like the word frame, you can just say it's okay. Stationary image. Or if you don't like the word image, well, okay, you can say picture. Okay, so that is going to be referred to as the T frame. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Now, guys, this T frame here is okay. The time. So that's going to be okay expressed in a unit of time. Right, okay. You may say that, okay, yes, it took the system, let's say it's okay. We can say it's okay, 1 millisecond to create one frame or one image. Did that make sense? So in this case, yes, okay, your T frame was going to be, it's okay, 1 millisecond. Yeah, okay. You may say, well, okay, yes, my T frame could have been 10 milliseconds. What did that mean? That may mean that, okay, yes, it took your system 10 milliseconds to, yes, okay, create one image. Did that make sense? But that time that it takes the system to create one picture is going to be referred to as the T frame. Yeah, okay. And since that's okay, it is going to be as okay expressed in the unit of time. But okay, we can say it's okay. This is just going to be the period to create one frame. Will be referred to as the T frame. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Now can we go to the next factor, which is going to be as okay what we will call the frame rate. Now, if you again look here, it's okay. Frame rate. Now, what we meant by the frame was, it's okay, that single picture, right? Okay, or that single image. Clear? Okay. But since we say rate, now guys, whenever you see the word rate, in most instances, okay, that is going to be as okay. Maybe it's okay accounting for the number of per time. Or it's okay for any unit of time. Any event per unit of time. So if you look at it now, if you say it's okay, frame rate, that is going to be the number of frames per unit of time, or here we can say it's okay per second. Did you guys get that? And what did we mean by a frame? That single image. But your frame rate is mainly going to be as okay, how many pictures are you able to take in, let's say it's okay, a second, a minute, an hour, a day, a week, or whatsoever. Did that make sense? That will become your frame rate. But if you look here, guys, time that it took the system to create one frame or one image, and it's okay, the number of images run in a unit of time, which we here say will be a second. So here is okay, you can either put it this way and say it's okay, the unit for frame rate is going to be as okay, number of frames is okay per second. Okay, but we can mainly say, okay, this frame here is okay, that was an event that occurred, which took a certain time, that we call a T frame. So frame rate, ladies and gentlemen, is JND is okay, just going to be an example of, you can say it's okay. If you look at it, it's going to be the frequency. Let's do it this way. You can mainly say, okay, what is that going to mean? It is going to be the frequency of frames. Yeah, okay. Because how many frames did we have in a second? That becomes the frequency of a certain event in a unit of time. And now, guys, what do we know? We know that anything, yes, okay, expressed in time versus, yes, okay, frequency are this was the time. And we say that, okay, yes, this is okay, becomes a frequency of respectively, yes, okay, the same factor. Or were they inversely proportional? Yeah. Likewise, we can also say that, okay, as T frame multiplied by, yes, okay, the frame rate, that's okay, or B1. Because what was it that the T frame was? It was mainly as okay, just the time that it takes the system to creating one single frame or one single image. Whereas frame rate is going to be as okay, if whatsoever time was it that it took our system to create an image, how many frames are we able to create in a unit of time, which will be the frame rate. Yeah, one was an image, okay, just a plain example of period for the frame, whereas frame was going to be as okay the frequency of frame. Clear? Okay. So whenever we talk about something in a period related to frequency, yes, okay, what do we know? That they are inversely proportional, right? Right? Period and frequency are inversely proportional, and not only inversely proportional, they are also reciprocal. Did that make any sense? So guys, your chi frame was nothing. The time that it takes you to click. And you can say, okay, based on that, yes, okay, your image will be created. Clear? Okay. Whereas frame rate, what would that be? We can mainly say, okay, if it takes you, yes, okay, 1 millisecond to click and create a frame, you will be able to create 1,000 frames in a second. Clear? Okay, so that millisecond, that was your chi frame. That 1,000 frames per second will become your frame rate. Now, 1 millisecond was 1,000th of a second, right? And 1,000 frames per second. Well, okay, yes, when you multiply those two, what do you get? You multiply 1,000 by 1 over 1,000. You get 1. But guys, if you look at it, it's nothing new. It's mainly as, okay, just that relationship between period and frequency that is being brought up again. Clear? Okay. But here's, okay, what is our period? Or what is it that we measure in terms of time? The chi frame. Clear? Okay. What is our frequency here? The frame rate. Clear? Okay, because chi frame, as we said, the time that it takes the system to create an image. What was frame rate? Number of frames per unit of time. Did you guys get that? So, guys, when I said it back in chapter 3, that please understand your relationship between period and frequency, because it's going to come up again and again and again and again. Here we go. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Okay. So please, once more for the team or whatever, T frame, time to create an image or time to create one picture, stationary picture. Frame rate, how many frames do we get in a second? Yeah, okay. Now here we go say, yes, okay, frame rate could be, yes, okay, frames per second, or even that could just be, yes, okay, the regular unit of frequency, which, okay, yes, was hertz. So guys, if you understand this far, yes, okay. Understanding what we are going to be talking about is okay. All the remaining of our chapter is going to be easy. So just keep in mind that C-frame and frame rate are inversely proportional, which mean that okay, so if we have a greater C-frame, we will have a lower frame rate. If we had a lower C-frame, we will have a greater frame rate. Okay, but not only that, because okay, this was time. Okay, so we could say it's okay that T frame multiplied by yes, okay, your frame rate where this was time, this was frequency, is 1. And what do we call this? A relationship here. What was this kind of relationship here called? That these two factors here is okay were reciprocals to one another, right? Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Any questions?
No?
Good. Good. So this fellow here, unit of time, whereas this fellow here, unit of frequency, or you can say it's okay, just contributes, okay, number of frames per second. Now, guys, this is all about making a movie. Now, have any of you seen a very old black and white movie? Right, okay. Now, let's say it's okay, whosoever the character was, it's okay, he or she is walking down the street. But what you actually is okay may see is that okay, as that walking down the street looks more like okay, staggering. And why is that? Primarily as okay due to a lower frame rate. Clear? Okay. Now, they may run that very same movie or reel of movie. So that it's just okay, the movement may look smoother. But it's okay, that 2-hour movie is just going to just okay become just okay a 30 minutes movie. Because what is it that they're going to do? Run the reel faster. Okay. And okay, yes, in those reels, yes, okay, what was it you could actually, yes, okay, you could hold it up and actually, yes, okay, see the individual frames that were being recorded. Okay. Now, if you compare that, yes, okay, to today's movie. Okay. The main thing that has changed is that we just have okay as a higher frame rate. in today's movies. Because he says, okay, because our systems are more advanced nowadays than it used to be, yes, okay, 100 years ago. Did that make sense? Okay. So primarily, yes, okay, due to a higher frame rate, greater frames per second. Mainly because, yes, okay, our systems nowadays are able, yes, okay, have a lower G frame. It takes shorter time to create a frame or an image. That's why it's okay. Today's movies, it's okay. You can, okay, that movie is okay. Old movie being recorded using today's equipment, 100 plus years ago. You would have had, okay, as a smooth recording of, okay, let's say it's okay, that person walking down the street. And it not look like, okay, that's staggering. Why is the reason that it looks staggering? It's okay, meaning because you missed movement from here to here, or from here to here. In one frame, yes, okay, he appears here, the next frame here. So what happened in between, yes, okay, you missed it. Did that make sense? So old movies, what can we say about those? Poor temporal resolution. Today's movies, Need for Speed and all that, okay, good temporal resolution. Any questions? Primarily why it's okay, because old days it's okay. Low frame rate. Nowadays, high frame rate. Or even if you look at your internet, sometimes yes, okay, it may happen that I freeze, right? Clear? Sometimes it may happen that not just I, but any of you, yes, okay, can freeze. Clear? Okay. Or you can say, it's okay, that the internet runs slow. What happens when your internet runs slow? Data transmitted, or is okay, conducted per second is, or the amount of data transmitted in a unit of time is going to get slower. Clear? Okay. So what is going to happen is, okay, if you're watching is okay, video on YouTube or Netflix, you may be missing a lot of things because, okay, it's lost in the processing of, okay, as that slow data. Did that make sense? Whereas if you say as okay, fast internet, what is it you okay, are able to do? Process more data in a lesser time. Or as okay, what your video is not going to be doing as okay. Do you guys remember when it's okay, things such as YouTube or it's okay, videos first came on the internet? Or you could download, or you can just okay, play a file, but it's okay, it would take forever and ever and ever and ever for the system to process it. You see 5, 6 steps, and okay, then buffering, 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 buffering. Clear? Okay. Now, had that been a live stream, guys, what would have happened? You would have been missing all the info that happened during that buffering time, right? Clear? Okay. So whatever is okay, the person as okay who was running the live stream has said in that time when you were sitting there, waiting for that thing to buffer, you would miss it. Did you guys get that? So that would be as okay as slow, or that would be a bad temporal resolution. Or that will lead to a bad or poor temporal resolution. Any questions? Yes, guys. Any questions?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So is your frame rate okay? Okay, good. Okay. So one is just time, the other is frequency. Which is time? Chi frame. What is frequency? Frame rate. Clear? Okay. Good. And just like regular period and regular frequency, these two here are inversely proportional. And not only inversely proportional, just like period and frequency are also going to be reciprocal. Did you guys get that? Good.
Yes.
Now, although yes, okay, it only says okay factors that affect your frame rate. But please keep in mind, guys, okay, if it affects the frame rate, it's going to yes, okay, inversely, or yes, okay, reciprocally, yes, okay, affect the T frame. Clear? Okay. Great. So yes, okay, we can say it's okay, factors that affect your factors that affect. Now let's see, it's okay, the frame rate. But please keep in mind that okay, yes, when we say it's okay, affect the frame rate, it is going to yes, okay, inversely yes, okay, affect your G frame. Okay. One is going to be yes, okay, propagation speed. Yeah, okay. Now, guys, if we, for instance, say that okay, as we have a high propagation speed, that is going to just okay, reduce your frame rate or T frame and increase your frame rate. But please keep in mind, guys, that's okay. Propagation speed, yes, okay. This is not adjustable. Yeah. Okay. We have no means to adjust the propagation speed of sound in the medium. Yeah, okay. Another factor that's okay that may is likewise okay. Yes, we can go the other way around and say yes, okay. In case that a medium has a low propagation speed, that is going to yes, okay, increase the G frame but reduce the frame rate. Yeah, okay. Well, where we yes, okay, still will say that okay, yes, the relationship between these two here is okay were not only inversely related, but they were also reciprocal. Whereas, okay, here is, okay, the relationship of the propagation speed to frame rate and the relationship to propagation speed and T frame are only as, okay, either directly proportional or inversely proportional, as demonstrated by the colored arrows, but not reciprocal. Clear? The other thing is going to be as, okay, the other factor that, okay, as will affect your frame rate, and of course that's, okay, will reciprocally, that's, okay, when we talk about the frame rate, that's, okay, affect your T frame is going to be as, okay, imaging depth. Or what we as, okay, also can say as, okay, is going to be the depth of your image. Okay, and what do we mean by the depth of image or imaging depth? This, for instance, okay, here was your image or your frame. And we say, okay, this was 5 centimeters. Versus, okay, another image. This was our image, and we say, okay, for instance, okay, this is 10 centimeters. These depths here is, okay, that was going to be your imaging depth. Did that make sense? Now, please keep in mind, guys, yes, okay, this here is adjustable, right?
Yes.
Okay, because, okay, we can go from 5 centimeters to 10 centimeters. We can go from 10 centimeters back to 5 centimeters. Or we can even go from 5 centimeters to 2.5 centimeters if you want to. Clear? Okay, so this is adjustable. But if you just look at the relationship between, yes, okay, the imaging depth and, yes, okay, your T frame, and then reciprocally of that is going to be, yes, okay, your frame rate. We can mainly say that, okay, yes, the greater your imaging depth, which in this case, it will be this one here, right? Okay, 10 centimeters. Let's, okay, that's probably the wrong color. You can mainly say, okay, the greater the imaging depth, the greater is going to be as, okay, your T frame. And since you have a greater T frame, you're going to have a inversely related or reciprocal lower frame rate. Whereas, okay, yes, on a shallower depth, you're going to have a lower T frame, but a higher frame rate. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Any questions? Okay. So these were two factors that, okay, as although your book just says, affect your T frame rate. But that's okay. What they also will do is just, okay, inversely or reciprocally when we compare these two together. Okay. But that's okay, have a reciprocal effect upon the T frame when we compare it to the frame rate. Otherwise, straightly as, okay, if sound wave travel at a greater speed, it will take lesser time for the frame to complete, and you will have a greater frame rate. and vice versa. Okay, but this is not adjustable. This dude here is okay. Imaging depth is adjustable. Any questions? Okay, that's contagious. Okay. So guys, please read on these first 97, 98, and the beginning of 99. And when we come back, we will talk about is okay, the system settings that determines the frame rate. And please keep in mind, determine the frame rate reciprocally will determine your chi frame.
Mike, real quick, the frame rate is inverse to depth, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So greater depth, lower frame rate. Okay. We will talk more about that. Yes, okay, when we get back. Okay. Because we can mean yes, okay, we're going to talk about system settings that affect your frame rate. Okay. But since it affects your frame rate, it's going to yes, okay, also. Now the relationship between frame rate and chi frame, that's going to be the one that will be reciprocal. Clear? Okay. Okay. But any factor or any system setting that, for instance, okay, increases your chi frame is going to just okay reduce your frame rate. Clear? Okay. So we're talking more details about that when we come back. It's going to be as okay, a lot of arrows going up and arrows going down. But that's pretty much okay how I would like you guys to start on a blank sheet of paper when we come back. And we're going to make a whole list, which is going to mean, yes, okay, just summarize this chapter here on one page. Did you guys get that? And then once you're done with that, yes, okay, you can put that in a frame, hang that frame up, and look at it as many times in a day you want to. The more times you look at it, the better is going to be your temporal resolution of remembering this thing. Okay. Does that sound like a plan? So rather than reading, yes, okay, 6, 7 pages, you bring it down to one sheet. Arrows up, arrows down. Maybe it's okay, a little bit diagrams. Anyways, but anyway. Okay, guys, so I see you guys in, should we say 20 minutes? Somebody needs to get a coffee and uh, you can, it's okay, try to read on these 2 pages that we just talked about. Okay, guys? Any questions? Then okay, yes, please bring them up when we come back. You guys, welcome back. Okay, dokie. So let's do it this way. We can say that frame rate. There's going to be a reciprocal effect on the G frame, where V is affecting either of these here, because they're going to be inversely related. But if you, for instance, increase your G frame, it will reduce the frame rate. And that reduction in frame rate will affect your temporal resolution. Likewise, if you change the frame rate, now that's going to be because the G frame is changed inversely, and that will also affect your temporal resolution. So by saying that as factors that determines or affects your frame rate are also going to be factors that will affect your G frame, but just inversely. Okay, and they will both just also affect your temporal resolution. Now, guys, as far as system settings that affect your G frame or frame rate, are concerned, they're going to be two major factors or two major system settings. That is we can say affect the frame rate, but please keep in mind that that is also going to inversely affect the G frame. Okay, now guys, when they say system settings, what do they mean by that? That these are mainly factors that were adjustable. Clear? Okay. So adjustable is it will affect the G frame or the frame rate, which is going to inversely affect the G frame, and mainly as by adjusting these system settings here, that's going to affect our temporal resolution. Did you guys get that? Okay. So how is the system or systems testing here is are adjusted, or they will affect the G frame or frame rate, and how is that will affect your temporal resolution. That's pretty much is what we are going to be talking about. So these two system settings here is which were adjustable. We already mentioned one of them was going to be as the depth of image. If you don't like the word depth of image, we can also as say imaging depth. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Right, okay. Very main, you can say it's now you're gonna have two imaging depths. You can have a high imaging depth. We can say it's that our image, for instance, was to a depth of 10 centimeters. We can have a lower imaging depth, which finds the mean it's that our image was depth of 5 centimeters. So how is it that that's going to affect our G frame? And by saying it's affecting the G frame, it's just going to inversely affect the frame rate. and how that frame rate is okay affect your temporal resolution. That would mean that's okay determine the effect of our depth of image upon each of these factors as okay ultimately as okay our T frame, our temporal resolution, sorry. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Now, guys, when we talk about yes, okay, the other setting or system setting, which is going to be yes, okay, adjustable, is concerned. Well, okay, yes, it means yes, okay, going to affect what we can call yes, okay, all these are going to yes, okay, affect the number of pulses per frame. So there actually is okay going to be system settings that we can adjust, which will mean yes, okay, determine how many pulses is it that we end up with in each frame. And all dependent upon those changes or change settings, that's going to just okay respectively affect your T frame, which inversely or reciprocally is going to affect your frame rate, which will affect your temporal resolution. Did you guys get that?
No, can you repeat that?
No problem there. So the second factor, or let's say it's okay, other system setting that is going to be adjustable. Now, what is that going to do? Or what is that these factors here are going to do? Is that that's going to just okay determine the number of pulses that we have in each frame. Clear? Okay. And based on the number of pulses per frame, that will affect our T frame. That T frame is going to just okay inversely or reciprocally affect your frame rate, which will have an effect on your temporal resolution. So there are some settings that we are able to just okay adjust on our system that will affect, increase or decrease the number of pulses in each frame. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
And well, okay, since the number of pulses per frame changes, that's going to mean that okay, yes, the time that it takes that frame to be completed will change, which will cause your frame rate to change, which will cause your temporal resolution to get affected. Did you get that, dear?
Yeah, got it.
Good. Okay. Now this fellow here is okay, number of pulses per frame. That's actually it's okay, 3 in 1 thing. Because there's actually it's okay going to be 3 things that well, yes, okay. Adjust, I guess again, mainly is going to yes, okay. Determine the number of pulses per frame. You can mainly as okay, just say one thing will be as okay, we can say okay, single focus versus multifocus. So whether we focus on one focal point or if we choose multiple focal points, that same image will have, yes, okay, different number of pulses. per frame, which is going to affect your chi frame, which will inversely affect the frame rate, which will affect your temporal resolution. But we're going to come to these in just a little bit. The next thing is going to be that falls of, I mean, it's okay, it's going to, yes, okay, determine the number of pulses that we have in each frame. Then, of course, yes, okay, it's still going to be adjustable. It's going to be, yes, okay, what we call the sector size. So your sector size is going to, if we increase it, if we decrease it, it's going to, yes, okay, affect the number of pulses that you will have in each frame, causing that to affect your chi frame, inversely or reciprocally affect your frame rate, which is okay, will have an effect on your temporal resolution. The last one is going to be, yes, okay, what they call the line density. Clear? Okay. So the line density, yes, okay, guys. That's again, yes, okay, a factor. Or yes, okay, something that we actually be able to adjust in our system. That's by increasing or decreasing, we just okay, increase or decrease the number of pulses in each frame, which will have its own effect on the chi frame. That will have an inversely or reciprocal effect on your frame rate and will affect your temporal resolution. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what remaining can say is, okay, that this will be low. If this is low, and here. Whereas, okay, yes, this would be high. If this was high, or this was high, or this. Okay. But, so, these system settings here, which are, okay, as we said, were adjustable, will ultimately, is okay, have an effect on your temporal resolution. Clear? Okay. But those changes, as okay, that effect on your temporal resolutions can also be related to, yes, okay, to your chi frame, can also be related to, yes, okay, your frame rate. Okay, guys. So this is mainly, yes, okay, what we will be talking about, and yes, okay, look at individually. Okay. Now, just make a sheet like this. And you can say it's okay, here is okay, system setting. Okay. Here we can say it's okay, chi frame. Here we can say it's okay, frame rate. And last but not the least is that we can say it's okay, temporal resolution. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be the worksheet that we will get back to. Now, guys, our first system setting. What did we say that was? That was adjustable, right? Okay. That was imaging depth. Or as we can say, okay, depth of image. Whichever way you want to look at it. Okay. Now, guys, let me just go to another slide so we can just just look at it in detail. So we can say, okay, depth of image or imaging depth. So, okay. And our question is going to be, okay, how will that affect our T frame? How will that affect our frame rate? And ultimately, due to that, how will that affect our temporal resolution? So to understand this what do we need to do? We say if we are scanning and we having two depths of images. We can say one is going to be a low depth of image. We can say 5 centimeters. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
On the other hand, we can just go to a greater depth of image. And we can say 10 centimeters. Now these were your depths of the image. Okay, so guys, when we mainly want to determine ultimately what we want to establish, what's going to be the effect of the depth of image upon your temporal resolution. Clear? Okay, that's what we mainly want to do. Okay, so in this case, what is it that we're going to do? We're not going to just talking about the changes of that as the number of pulses per frame as upon your temporal resolution. We're just going to keep that number of pulses per frame constant. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So we're not going to be talking about right now. We just want to establish, how is it that, yes, the depth of the image, well, okay, of course, how will that affect the G frame? How will that affect the frame rate? How will that affect our temporal resolution? Okay. So let us just say that, yes. Now, guys, let us put it this way. That let's say the frequency had 10 pulses per frame. In both cases here. Yeah, okay. Now, which of these two frames here, this versus this, has the has a greater or lower PRP. Well, let me say this, okay, which of these two frames here is going to have a greater PRP?
The 10 centimeter depth.
10 centimeter depth, exactly. Okay, okay. So we can mainly say, okay, out of these two frames here, this frame here would have a greater PRP. Did that make sense? Which mainly this will mean that, okay, yes, it will have a inversely or reciprocally low PRF. Yeah, okay. Now, mainly because that's okay. Whereas, okay, yes, for the other frame here, yes, okay, we will have a lower PRP. Okay. Although, yes, okay, so here, there's mainly, yes, okay, just 10 pulses that has to go back and forth to complete one frame. Did that make sense? But these pulses here is okay, mainly just have to go to a depth of 5 centimeters and come back, 5 centimeters and come back, 5 centimeters and come back. Did you guys get that? Yeah, here it's okay, each pulse has to go to a depth of 10 centimeters and then come back. Did you guys get that? So in this case, yes, okay, what can we say? Due to the shallower depth, it will take those 10 pulses a lesser time to complete that frame of this image here, right? Whereas, okay, yes, here, or for this frame here, is going to take a longer time to complete that frame because each pulse had to go to a depth of 10 centimeters and come back. Did that make sense? Yes, guys.
Yeah.
Look at it, guys. This is not sitting at the school. If I ask the 10 of us, let's see if we can join by us, okay, 2, 3 people from the front, to go to the gas station right next door and come back. Gas station and come back, gas station and come back, gas. Okay. What would that take? That would take, yes, okay, lesser time for the 10 of us. Go from the school to the gas station and come back. Compared to, yes, okay, if I say, well, okay, listen, guys. Go from the school all the way to the highway and then make a U-turn and come back. That's going to take us, yes, okay, a greater time because of a greater distance. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, what do we know that the relationship between depth and, no, sorry. So you can make sense, okay, the greater the depth, the greater time is it that it will take the frame to be completed. Where, okay, as the lesser the depth, the lesser time is it that it will take the frame here to be completed. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Clear? Okay. So, but what do we know that, okay, is the relationship between T frame and frame rate? Well, okay, yes, they were inversely proportional. So the greater the frame, the greater the T frame, oh, sorry, the lesser the T frame, the greater will be the frame rate, right? Mainly because, okay, we are able to just, okay, complete a greater number of frames in a unit of time. Whereas, okay, on the other hand, when we had a greater distance to go, come back, go and come back, go and come back, go and come back, it will take us more time to complete that frame. Okay, so the greater time that it takes us for completing one frame will mean that, okay, we will be able to just, okay, complete a lesser number of frames in a unit of time. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Now comes the $1,000,000 question. How will that just, okay, affect your temporal resolution? So what we mainly can say is, guys, the greater the frame rate, the greater your internet speed. The better was it that you were able to just, okay, following that live cast or stream or live stream, right? So that will lead to a good temporal resolution. Whereas, okay, on the other hand, the greater your depth, well, yes, okay, it will take us a greater time to complete one frame. Okay, and this frame is, okay, have to be played along with another frame, 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 with another frame in a unit of time. But if there's going to be, as, okay, because it takes us a longer time to create one frame, there's going to be a greater time interval between consecutive frames. So that will cause that we'll have a lower frame rate. And due to that lower frame rate, because of a greater T frame, we actually just, okay, we'll be missing this data here, right? So that's going to lead to a poor temporal resolution. Did you guys get that? So what could we say? That an increase in the frame rate, in the depth, that will increase the T frame. It will lead to a lower frame rate, and a lower frame rate will mean, yes, okay, a poor temporal resolution. Okay, maybe I messed up the colors. That's fine. On the previous page, but anyways. Whereas, okay, guys, if we go the other way around and say a low imaging depth that will lead to, yes, okay, a low chi frame. The low chi frame, greater frame rate. And if we have a greater frame rate, what will that give us? That will give us a good temporal resolution. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So what can we also say here is, now in this case, that's okay, we kept the number of pulses constant, right? Okay. But we can actually say that, okay, yes, the chi frame. Now, okay, yes, that is going to be equal to, we could say, yes, okay, number of pulses per frame times PRP. Which made it or me. Okay, but what happened here was, due to the greater or shallower depth of image, that was going to, it's okay, affect your PRP. Which then, okay, as okay, sorry, have a direct relationship upon the effect on your chi frame. Okay, but even if you also look at this equation here, it's okay, either of these or both of these is okay if they increase. Even if this increases, that's okay, it would increase your chi frame. Or even if your pulse repetition period increases, it will increase your chi frame. And or vice versa. Okay, but in this instance here, it's okay, we kept the number of pulses. Well, okay, as we kept that constant. Okay, because, okay, that's what's going to change in the next case here. Okay, but guys, there's going to be okay questions in the book where they say, well, okay, yes, the PRP is still the same. Although, yes, okay, the number of pulses increases, how will that affect your temporal resolution? So although, yes, okay, your PRP is increased, but the number of pulses increases, or I say the number of pulses per frame, but they may not be that specific. How will that affect, yes, okay, your temporal resolution, or your chi frame, or your frame rate? Clear? Okay. But okay, from this equation, yes, okay, what can you see? You can mainly say that, okay, yes, that your chi frame is going to be, yes, okay, directly proportional to both of these. Number of pulses. And yes, okay, your PRP. Clear, okay, which mainly makes us okay, both of these two here. Inversely proportional to your frame rate. And likewisely, also inversely proportional to your temporal resolution. But just keep it in this mind, keep in mind here that if I tell you guys, well, okay, just run from school to the gas station next door and come back. And what info you bring back is okay, I will collect that info, use that to create an image of what's going on in the area between the school and gas station next door, right? Clear? Okay. Okay. So that's going to be as okay the trip that we'll be making. Okay. It's going to be as okay 10 people, for instance, as okay that will be running back and forth. So we kept the number of pulses constant. But if I now say, well, okay, let's go to the highway and come back, highway and come back, highway and come back. Of course, that's okay. What's going to happen? Your go and return time for each of you will be greater. Okay, so if I need that, yes, okay, feedback from the 10 of you guys to, yes, okay, make my frame or make my image of what happens between the school and the highway. Well, okay, it will take me a greater time to, yes, okay, get that feedback because you travel a longer distance and come back. So my T frame will be increased. It will take me a greater time to create that single frame. And the greater time that it takes me to create a frame, well, okay, the lesser number of frames is it that I will be able to produce in a second, minute, day, whatsoever. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yes, Teresa, you look confused.
I'm just have my mind set on this chart and going back and forth between the how you're explaining it and then how we're putting it on the chart is just confusing me. So I'm trying to. Why are
No,
you
but
confused
okay.
by that?
But because listen here, okay. Listen. This was your explanation. Clear? Okay. But all the explanation, yes, okay, is summarized here.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to go back and forth between the two.
It's also just like a lot of information, a lot of new relationships mixed with old relationships. So,
No, okay, my dear, if you say new relationships, I would like to disagree with that.
okay, new terms for
Oh,
past
well, okay, new
relationships.
terms, but that's why I mainly said that, okay, yes. So that's why I say it's okay. If you are related to, yes, okay, the chi frame straightly. Something that takes a longer time to complete. Something that takes a longer time to complete. In chapter 3, we call that a greater period. In chapter 4, we call that a greater pulse duration, and okay, as a greater PRP, right? Yep, that's fine. They can leave a message in Chinese or whatever. Okay. So you say it's okay, greater PRP, right? Clear? Okay. Clear? Okay. Now, or lesser PRP. Now, what is it that your PRP is related to? Or how are you able to adjust that
The depth.
depth? Here we go. So that is mainly as okay, what we just talked about here. Okay. So we still haven't messed around with the number of pulses per frame. Okay. But what you mainly can say is, okay, if that is going to increase, and that's going to be what we're coming up. That okay, as where we have lesser pulses per frame or greater number of pulses per frame. Those will have, yes, okay, their effect upon your time to complete a frame, which is your chi frame. Did that make sense? Clear? Okay. So the greater the time it takes you to complete a frame, you have a greater chi frame, which is the period, the time it takes to complete a frame. So that's going to, yes, okay, measured in times. A unit of time. You can say second, minute, or so and so. Did that make sense? That is going to inversely and reciprocally, yes, okay, affect your frame rate. The frame rate, as I just said in the beginning, my dear, is the number of frames per second. So how many frames is it that your system was able to create in a second? That's going to become your frame rate. By sometimes something takes, yes, okay, a longer time to complete. That even can be, yes, okay, going to be completed in a less amount of times per in a second or a minute or whatever. Anybody hungry? Okay, even if you're hungry or not, just as doing it this way. If you are a slow eater and there's a big plate of whatever in front of you, okay, but you take your sweet time to just okay, chew on that thing before you swallow it. What will you say? That the time it takes for you to just okay process or chew on a piece of whatever you took a bite of before swallowing is going to be great. So here you can refer to that as your chi frame is going to be great. So how many bites will you be able to take in a minute, for instance? If you take 6 seconds to chew on each bite. How many bites will you be able to take in a minute? That's going to be as okay your frequency of bites per minute, 10 bites. Now, if you're more like, okay, don't really chew on the food. only work, yes, okay, 1 second for each byte, yes, okay, you'll be able to take 60 bytes in a minute. So that time that you work on each byte is your chi frame, or time to is okay, swallow a byte. And okay, yes, the other is going to be as okay, how many bytes did you take in a minute? Right. So your frame rate, ladies and gentlemen, is the frequency of your frames. Did you guys get that? That's going to be inversely related and reciprocal to your chi frame, which is the time that it takes your system to create a frame. Clear? Okay. Now the first system setting that we were able to adjust was the depth. At least as okay as far as okay the discussion goes. Clear? Okay. So how will that depth of image affect your chi frame, affect your frame rate, and affect your temporal resolution? That's what okay, that's what this here is okay, it's a bit crowded, but that's okay. We still went over it, okay, step by step. Explains. But guys, yes, okay, the bottom line is this relationship here. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
That was a very low enthusiasm, yeah. Guys, I'm not in a rush. You didn't get it, I can, yes, okay. Hey, do you still have to come from Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a hell of a distance, right?
Sure is.
Good. Okay, if I tell you, okay, yes, you got 24 hours, how many trips can you make from school, home, and back? Okay, let me help you. How long does it take you one way?
We'll just say 2 hours.
2 hours. So you're going to make, okay, a trip from school to home and back will take you 4 hours, right? So in 24 hours, how many trips will you be able to make?
6.
6. Good. Now my travel distance, it depends on, of course, okay, the traffic and okay, yes, how much gas I can give, but it's okay. An average of, okay, yes, 20 minutes one way. Let's just say 15 minutes. That's fine, okay. I'm violating the traffic a little bit on the speed limits. So 15 minutes from home to school. So, okay. So half an hour is okay, back and forth. So that's 2 trips per hour. Clear, okay? 48 trips per day. Clear, okay. So because, yes, okay, my T frame was lesser because of a lesser distance. Clear, okay. I was able to make multiple trips. And if somebody was sitting in the school and says, okay, in 24 hours, yes, okay, I need feedback of what happens on your route versus my route, where will he or she get a more, yes, okay, quick update from me rather than you, because it's okay, 2 hours to go, 2 hours to come back. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you will have a lower frame rate compared to me, or let's say it's okay, any other people. Okay, which will be, that's okay, your temporal resolution will be poor. The rest of us will have a good temporal resolution. Yeah, okay. But, you will see that, okay, yes, they will trick you in the questions. I is okay, talk about PRP and PPP, and things like that. Yep. Any questions now? So just remember, guys, greater depth. Well, okay, yes. Greater time to complete a frame, greater time to complete a frame, a lower frame rate, low internet speed. Buffering, and you miss a lot of the info in the live stream. Clear? Okay, whereas shallower distance or shallower depth of image or lesser depth of image, lesser time to complete a frame, greater frame rate, well, okay, yes. Faster internet speed, if you want to put it that way. And be able to, okay, follow that live podcast without interruption. Any questions? Okay, guys. Now our next setting. Oh shit, I'm gonna choose this color. You can mainly says okay, mainly will be as okay that 3 and 1, which will mainly is okay going to be as okay because the number of pulses per frame. Is that clear?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Now please, guys, number of pulses per frame does not mean frame rate. Okay. Number of pulses per frame, that does not mean your frame rate. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Right, okay. Okay. Frame rate was number of frames per second. Number of pulses per frame is mainly as okay, how many pulses will make up one frame. one image. Is that clear? Okay. And then we mainly will talk about as, okay, what can be changed that may increase the number of pulses per frame, and or what will SOK change to SOK decrease the number of pulses. So the first thing that we will talk about is, or we can say, okay, the first factor here is going to be, if we say single focus versus multiple focus. Clear? Okay. So yes, okay, we will come back to this one here in just 1 second. Now, guys, let us just see, and please, and that's why I said earlier, once back in the days, you can have an image where we may say it's okay, where we say it's okay, but let's just do this way. 10 centimeters. And still have an image which was also 10 centimeters. But in this 10 centimeter image here, it's okay, we may say it's okay, where if we just have, let's say it's okay, one focal point. Let's say it's okay at 5 centimeters. Whereas, okay, in the other image here, it's okay, we may say it's okay, we keep multiple focal points. We have it, okay, as a 5 centimeters. We have one, let's say it's okay, 6 centimeters or 7 centimeters. We can say, okay, we have it at 9 centimeters. Clear? Okay. Did that make sense? Okay. So guys, there is going to be a difference between depth of image or imaging depth and focal depth. Did you guys get that? Clear? Okay. Likewise, that's okay. We could still say that, okay, yes, we had two images with different depths. We can say it's okay, 7 centimeters. And let's say it's okay, 10 centimeters. But it's okay, where our focal depth still would be 5 centimeters. Did that make sense? So just because we had different depths of images does not affect just okay our focal depth, because we kept that one constant, or we kept just okay one focal depth. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Get any questions before I proceed?
Nope.
Okay. So what I mainly will say here is, okay, in this case is okay, or as we're going to is okay, talking about the factors that will affect or will influence, yes, okay, the number of pulses per frame. Okay, but what we mainly will say is, okay, since we want to establish the effect that these factors that is okay may increase or decrease the number of pulses per frame, we may will keep our depth of image constant. And likewise, the other factors also remain constant. Okay, clear? Okay. Now, guys, just keep in mind that, okay, yes, even for an array transducer, and that's what I have been saying for the last 2-3 days, even if you have an array transducer, well, of course, that's okay. That array transducer enables you to focus at, let's say, it's okay, more than one depth, right? Okay. But just because you're able to do so doesn't necessarily mean that we have to do it. Right, okay. Because what you guys will realize now is that, okay, yes, focusing at multiple depths, that's okay. It will eventually, affect our temporal resolution. Versus, just focusing on one depth. So, guys, what does it mean to, if we were focused at one depth here? Okay. Now, what mainly happens is, what do you say by focusing? Okay, that mainly means, that the beam that travels mainly is, will get to its narrowest at this point here, or at this depth here, right? Clear? Okay. Now, how is it that, this focus here is going to be working, guys? Let's say it's okay that we still have, okay, that will be 10 pulses. What would that mean? That 10 pulses will come back like this. To the focal point and then go back. Then, after that, again like this. Clear? Okay. So what remained, just had was, in the first instance, 10 pulses traveled, a distance of 5 centimeters and went back. After which, because that was the focal point, after which 10 pulses mean would go and from a depth of 0 centimeters to 10 centimeters and then go back. Did you guys get that? Whereas over here now, first of all, when we say that we have multiple focal points, one thing that we have is as first the beam will come to narrowest here. We can say it comes to its option. Narrowest diameter here, and it comes to its narrowest diameter here. But what will happen is that first, as pulses will go and come back to the depth of 5 centimeters. Once that is completed, then the next set of pulses will go from 0 and come back, go and come back, go and come back, go and come back, go and come back. So the first set of pulses that we had was this. The next set of pulses was this. Then we can go and say, it's okay. Next pulses, and okay, yes, they will start from here, go down here, and come back. Then and back. And then at last we can say, it's okay. Go and come back. Okay, so what do we have here? Is okay, to the focal depth here. If we said, okay, that 10 pulses went back. It was just going to be as okay, 10 pulses to one focal depth. Which in this case is okay, it was just 5 centimeters. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Good. Okay. And then after that, yes, okay. Then just 10 pulses. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Whereas here, 10 pulses first went to 5 centimeters and went back. So you can mean it as okay that PRP multiplied by 10. What was the PRP? 13 microseconds multiplied by 5. Yeah, okay. Then multiplied by 10. But these were as okay, the first 10 pulses that we had. Then we go to the next depth of focal depth. And again, 10 pulses, then we'll have to go from here to here and back. So that's okay, we can say it's okay, another set of 10 pulses. Clear, okay. And what's going to be as okay? The time that will take? Well, that's going to be as okay, your PRP. How do we get that PRP? That's mainly going to be 13 microseconds times 7. Then multiply by 10. But again, it's okay, then we have 10 pulses that need to go from beginning to here to a depth of 10 centimeters. So that's going to be as okay, another 10 pulses. So what do we see? We see the image with, okay, has lesser focal points. Of foci, as okay, have a lesser number of pulses. Where, okay, yes, in the image, where we had 3 focal points. Well, yes, okay, of course. That's going to be as okay, because it's okay 3 times the number of pulses that we had over here. Or in this case here. Not to talk about that, but that, okay, yes, that the PRP for each pulse is going to add up. Clear, okay, times the number of pulses. So what are you going to have here? Okay, it's in case of more focal points. What are we going to have? A greater number of pulses. And those pulses, yes, okay, they have to go and come back, go and come back, go and come back. So all those PRPs are going to be added up. Yeah, okay. And what is that going to cause? That's going to cause, okay, an even, yes, okay, greater increase in the G frame, which we just call, okay, as a greater decrease in your frame rate and affect your temporal resolution. So let us just put this on our chart and says, okay, in case of a single focus, what did we have? You could say, as okay, we had a lesser Chi frame. You can even say, as okay, that this is going to be as okay, a lesser number of pulses per frame. That lesser number of pulses per frame due to a single focus is going to give us a great frame rate. And that great frame rate is going to give us a good temporal resolution. Whereas, guys, on the other hand, if we said that we had multiple focal points, well, that multiple focal point, yes, okay, is going to, yes, okay, cause that, okay, at that frame will end up, yes, okay, needing more pulses to be completed. That will increase our Chi frame. Inversely or reciprocally, yes, okay, affect our frame rate. Clear, okay. But yes, okay, due to a greater Chi frame, greater time to complete a frame, you will have a lesser number of frames per second, and that's going to lead to a comparatively poor lateral resolution. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. If not, let's just go back to our school. And say, well, okay, yes. This is the highway. Yep. Let's just assume that, okay, yes, this was the 10 students that we had in the class. Now we hear a big boom. presumably, yes, okay, we may figure out that, okay, yes, something happened at the highway. Did that make sense? Now, guys, if I send each of you one by one, because each of you would be a pulse, okay, one by one, and say, well, okay, go to the highway and come back. Because this was the point that we wanted to primarily as okay focus on, right? And come back. The mainly says, okay, in this case, is okay, as we will have a low T frame for each of you, yes, okay. Once the 10 of you, yes, okay, had gone and come back, on and come back, okay, yes, I completed one frame. And mainly, yes, okay, just to get a running up there, yes, okay, I said, well, okay, we start from student one again. So that cycle mainly, yes, okay, just repeats. And our call that, okay, we will be able to complete more cycles. Of checking on, yes, okay, what was going on the highway after, God forbid, yes, okay, a multi-car collision. So this is going to be, yes, okay, when we say, yes, okay, single focus. Did you guys get that? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No.
Good. Let's just look at what this scenario here may look like if you go multi-focus. Are you guys ready? Good. So yes, okay, guys. We are still at the same situation. Well, okay, yes, we still here. Yes, okay, God forbid. A big boom on the highway. And what I runningly will be doing is, yes, okay, sending you guys out one by one. Did that make sense? Okay. So ideally, it's okay. Our primary focus was this one here, but now what is that you guys will be ending up doing is the gas station, the Dunkin' Donut. So what will happen, guys, is I say, well, okay, listen, one by one, yes, okay, each of you should go down to the highway and come back and bring me an update. I don't know whether the message was not clearly conveyed, but that's okay. The first time you guys go and come, you may just, okay, just go to the gas station and you come back and say, well, okay, there's a red car at the gas station. Okay. Highway. So that's okay. Again, sending you guys out. I go to the first one, that's okay, find that there's something that's okay, interesting happening at Donut or Dunkin' Donuts, sorry. He or she may come back and say, well, okay, that red car, which was okay, putting gas at the red gas station, now is at the Dunkin' Donut. Hello, guys. We just heard a big boom on the highway. Oh, okay. Then it's okay, one by one, it's okay, you go. Yeah, okay. But guys, you will be repeating this pattern. Okay, so this will be as okay our first frame. But what happened? It ended up taking us longer time because in between, yes, okay, you went to the gas station, come back, gas station, come back, gas station, come back, gas station, come back. Hello, guys, highway. Okay, yes, okay, Dunkin' Donut, come back, Dunkin' Donut, come back. Okay, did that make sense? So mainly because, yes, okay, on the way onto the highway, yes, okay, you see something and come back, see something and you come back. What happens? That due to that, in this case, yes, okay, we will have a greater time for one frame to be completed of, okay, yes, of what happened at the highway. Even yes, okay, between the first frame and the second frame, because okay, you'll still be focusing on what happens on the highway and bring that data back. Focus on what happened at the Dunkin' Donut and then come back. And then you go to the highway. A lot of things will have happened in the meantime as you are bringing back information from the gas station and the Dunkin' Donut. So you end up okay having as okay a greater time to complete a frame because you like to focus at other things on the way as well and bring that back. Did you guys get that? So my point was, okay, I wanted just to get an update of, okay, what happens at the highway. The first info that we may get in the first frame is, well, okay, yes, a 4-car collision. Clear? Okay. Okay. Then what we get in the next frame is, well, okay, yes, the firefighter is already here. How did they came? Where did they came from? Did they came from south? Did they came from north? Whatever. Clear? Okay. The next thing we know, well, okay, yes, the ambulances are here and they already okay pouring the people onto the stretchers and okay loading them onto the what they have called ambulances. We didn't know about yes, okay, what the condition of those injured, wounded, or yes, okay, people was. Did that make sense? Okay. All that could have been avoided if you yes, okay, mainly yes, okay, just had focused on the highway. Because you can come back and say, okay, well, okay, 4-car collision. Okay, in the next frame, we will see is okay, well, okay, there are people gathering. Okay, the next thing we see is okay, people calling 911. Next thing we see is okay, the ambulances and the fire brigade and the police are approaching. Things like that. So we get more of a accurate, yes, okay, time to time, a chronological update of what happened at the highway rather than here. That okay, before making a it's okay, finish a trip to the highway, you have to stop at a gas station, come back, you had to then go and okay, stop at Dunkin' Donut and then come back and come back, and then okay, yes, then you went to the highway. So due to yes, okay, that will take us a greater time to yes, okay, get an update of the events of the highway, which may require that okay, yes, we will have a lower frame rate. Although yes, okay, but still yes, okay, the 10 of you guys. But 10 of you have to make a trip back and forth to complete a frame. But because you go and come back from a shallower distance, then a greater distance, then a greater distance, because you focus on those, I will say, well, okay, one trip back and forth from the 10 of you, another trip back and forth from the 10 of you, another trip back, become 30 trips. 30 trips ends up being as okay a greater number of pulses. Did you guys get that? Just think of it. If somebody says, okay, if you want to, it's okay, we can do this in a practical way. If you just run from school to the highway and come back, that's okay, done in a minute. For each of you, right? Well, okay, as you go to the gas station, come back, that's okay, 10 seconds. Gas, that's okay. School, to Dunkin' Donut and come back, that's okay, 15 seconds. And then now that's okay, from school to highway and back 1 minute. For each of you, right? Okay. But it adds up. So since it adds up, well, okay, yes, the T frame adds up, right? T frame adds up, yes, okay, your frame rate becomes lower. And the lower your frame rate, guys, poor temporal resolution. So when we say it's okay, multi-focus, what are we going to end up with? Greater number of pulses. Did you guys get that? A greater number of pulses. Any questions? Nope.
No.
Okay. Now run to the gas station. Run to your kitchen, get something to eat, and when we come back, yes, okay, we may try to be able to see if we can squeeze in our next two vectors. If not, guys, okay, I don't intend to rush you guys through this chapter here, okay? I told you it's a very important chapter. Not just for your whatevers, but even, yes, okay, for your boards. You'll find a lot of questions that could be answered based on this chapter here. Okay. But yes, okay. Either you want to, yes, okay, reduce your time to eat. And okay, so let me just read a little bit on this. But again, yes, okay. You can mainly, yes, okay, just go and okay, finalize this chart here and say, well, okay. Boom. Or arrows. Okay. So that's all you need. So once you finish this, okay, are able to, yes, okay, that, fill up the blank between this to this, then this to this, then this to this. You got it. Okay, guys, I see you guys back at, should we say, 12:45. Is that fair enough? Okay. Take care, guys. Welcome back. And any questions so far?
No.
Nope. Okay. You guys had enough running back and forth. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, guys. So the next thing that we can say may affect what we call the number of pulses per frame is going to be as okay what we refer to as sector size. Okay, and guys, just to keep in mind, this is also going to, well, okay, this may be as okay to some extent, maybe as okay also related to as okay the next thing that we, next factor that we talk about, which will become as okay what we call line density. But let us just talk about is okay, what the is it that we mean by sector size? And well, okay, theoretically, yes, okay, how will we explain its effect upon the T frame related to yes, okay, the number of pulses, etc., etc. So we can say it's okay, sector size. No, size is mainly it's okay, just a matter of how big or small. But what we mainly can say here is okay, in terms of size is going to be as okay, big or small in what context? The spectrum. And that's why it's okay, this sector size here is okay, may also be known as field of view. Yeah, okay. Which we can say is okay, maybe wide, which may mean that okay, as we have a great sector size. Or let's say it's okay, maybe narrow, which may mean that we will have a small sector size. Clear, okay. And here is okay, what they mean is okay, just mean by the word sector is mainly as okay, just your image. Okay. Because most of our images as okay, when we looked at them, yes, okay, they were sector shaped. So that's mainly as okay, where they took the word sector from and okay, has implemented it here. But we can have yes, okay, two kinds of sector sizes, which could be yes, okay, either great or less. So what would that mean? Good. So if you, for instance, say yes, okay, this is going to be yes, okay, great sector size. Please keep in mind, guys, that's okay, we keep the value of depth of the image the same. Okay, so that's going to be okay, be the same for both of our images. But there's going to be a great sector size, or what we can call is okay, a wide sector size or a wide field of view. Whereas the other is going to be a narrow field of view, or we can say it's okay, a small sector size. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Now, guys, now just think of as, okay, if you were a transducer. Clear, okay? They had to scan this big field here, or this big area here, contra this smaller area here. What did that require you? That mainly SOK required that you send pulses out. And let's just assume here that's okay that the pulses are that the distance between SOK consecutive pulses is the same. But what do you see here? Mainly because it's going to be SOK a greater field. That's going to be SOK a greater number of pulses that will be required to scan this field here. Okay, to complete one frame. Not to talk about it, SOK is, of course, SOK is going to take you greater time to scan from here to here. Okay, because which will complete one frame, after which you may SOK just go again. Like that. Whereas here SOK, if you say SOK, if the distance between SOK two consecutive pulses still is the same, right? Okay. Clear? Okay. The depth is the same. We say it's okay. We still as okay. Only have as okay. Let's say it's okay. One focal point. Everything else remains the same. The only thing that changed was as okay the spectrum of our field, or as okay field of view, or as okay the sector size. But we as okay start count the dots here versus here. You can make says okay. There's going to be more dots here. But each dot mainly as okay represent a pulse. Where yes, okay, what do we have? We have okay as a lesser number of pulses, mainly because of a smaller sector. But on the other hand, we can also say as okay, the greater the sector, it will take us as okay more time to scan than okay as a narrow spectrum. Which mainly mean that here, the time interval between me as okay scanning this area and going all the way over here, then come back and start from here. That we always say it's okay, a greater T frame compared to yes, okay, here. Me starting from here, scan there will be yes, okay, a lower time to complete one frame. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Or if you look at it this way, transducer may not look like okay the transducer that you guys are used to, but let's see. But if I'm going to yes, okay, or let's say it's okay, I'm recording a movie. Clear, okay? And my movie is going to be yes, okay, going back and forth like this. Now, if I'm going to go on a greater sector, like then come back here. That's going to take me a great amount of time, contra to if I was just going like this. That took lesser time. Why? Because first, that's okay, I had a greater sector view of viewer field. Whereas in the next data, yes, okay, a narrower or smaller field of view. Did that make sense? So there will be a greater time interval between frame 1 and frame 2 and frame T, mainly because it took me a greater time to create each frame rather than if I just had a narrower sector. Did you guys get that? Clear? Okay. And as we just said, which is going to be as okay, our next point that, okay, yes, that we still say it's okay that the distance between yes, okay, consecutive pulses was the same. You can count the dots here and say, okay, of course, there are more dots here. Each dot just okay means it's okay represent a pulse compared to over here. Now just put all this yes, okay, here together, guys. And we can mainly say that, okay, yes, let's do this fancy yes, okay. Narrow sector size or smaller sector size or smaller viewer field. Lower T frame. Lower T frame, greater frame rate. Greater frame rate, while of course, a good temporal resolution. How and why? Because even SOK, if my SOK point of focus or SOK, the thing that I want to follow SOK is changing shape, position, whatsoever, that event like this and this. I'll be able to SOK more accurately control SOK followed here, control to here. Because okay, there's going to be a greater time interval between me coming across this. Even is okay for each time that I made a frame. Yeah, okay. So that mainly would mean that on the other hand, that we say, okay, we said a greater sector shape or sector size. That will lead to, yes, okay, a greater T frame. Finally, because, okay, of course, that's okay. It's also going to give me, yes, okay, a greater number of pulses per frame. Contra to, yes, okay. S a sector, smaller sector size, lesser pulses per frame. Okay, which means there will be the greater the T frame, the lower the frame rate. And when we have a low frame rate, a poor or bad temporal resolution. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yes. Any questions?
No.
Yes, guys. Okay. So if you find, okay. Now holiday is okay. What can we say? How can this sector size mean? We can say it's okay here. If we find this okay, went from here to here, because it's okay, this distance here could have been, let's say it's okay, 15 centimeters. Okay. Which would have been or greater. Whereas we could say it's okay, if we went from here to here, we could say it's okay, this distance could have been, let's say it's okay, just 7.5 centimeters. Which will mean have meant a smaller sector size. How is that smaller sector size or greater sector size going to affect your T-frame? And then when likewise frame rate and give you as okay a relatively as okay good temporal resolution or bad temporal resolution. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Nope. Good. Then let's just look at the lastus vectorusus heros, which is line density. Yeah, let me just choose a bright color for this one. Okay. Good guys. Now line density. Okay. Now, guys, what we actually mean by line in this case here. Clear? Okay. What we actually mean by line in this case here, this word line here is mean is okay taken from the term scan line. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Now, if you find this, okay, say, or take an image. Clear? Okay. Now, what this scan line here actually is okay will mean is going to be as okay a pulse. Okay. So pulse going, coming back. Pulse going, coming back. Pulse going, coming back. Pulse going, coming back. each of these here is okay, main is okay, that represent okay a pulse going on would be as okay scan line or what they actually as okay represents. Main is okay a pulse that went and returned back. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Good. Okay, so if you want to put it, you can mean this as okay, what line density actually is okay becomes is pulse density. Now, guys, may I commit the crime and asking, what would the density then be? Or what is that the density then will determine here? We can make this okay, just say it's okay, how compact. Or on the other side is okay, or loosely pulses are packed, right? Okay, that's going to be as okay, your become your line density. But actually, it's okay the way that they define this whole thing here, line density, is going to be as okay, the number of pulses, or they can say we can also say okay, the concentration of pulses, okay, per degree angle. Yeah, okay. And what do we mean by this degree angle here? Mainly this one here. Then we can mainly says, okay, this degree angle here was going to as okay, be as okay, related to as okay to your sector shape or sector size. But irrespective, even if you kept the degree angle the same, let's say it's okay that we had two sectors with the same degree angle, let's say it's okay, 35 degrees. 35 degrees. But for each degree angle, in this case here, it's okay, we only had one pulse per degree angle. One pulse per degree angle. Whereas over here, we said that we had two pulses per degree angle. Clear? Okay. It won't be incorrect to say that, okay, yes, if we had one pulse per degree angle, that was going to be as okay, lower line density. Whereas, okay, if we had a greater number of pulses per degree angle, two pulses per degree angle, that will give us, okay, as a greater line density. But here we said, okay, that we said, okay, in this case, we said everything else was the same. The angle was the same. Yes, okay, 35 degrees, 35 degrees. So how many pulses do we have in this frame here? 35 pulses per frame. Did that make sense? Which is going to be as okay, be our lesser number of pulses, mainly because of a lesser line density. Whereas over here, if we said, okay, if our angle was 35 degrees, okay, which is going to be, okay, the sector size. But if, for instance, okay, said that we had 2 pulses per degree angle, in this case, it's okay, our total number of pulses that we have in a frame is going to be those 2 pulses multiplied by our degree angle, which becomes, okay, 70 pulses per frame. Did that make sense? There, okay, everything else was the same. We said, okay, the depth of image of both of these pictures here was the same, let's say 5 centimeters deep. But mainly because in B, we increased the pulse density compared to pulse A, where we had a lower pulse density. In spite everything else, okay, else was the same. Okay, yes, same focal point or one focal point or whatever. Same depth of image, same sector size, so on, so on, so on. So, but just by increasing the pulse density or line density, it's okay, which mean that for each degree angle, it's okay, the line density would increase. On this case, it's okay, be doubled. That we end up with a greater number of pulses versus, it's okay, a lower number of pulses for each frame. But please keep in mind, it's okay, those pulses have to travel a distance and come back, travel a distance, come back, travel a distance, come back, which takes time. But what did that tell you? That here, it takes you a lesser time for this frame here to be completed. Where over here, it's okay, it takes you, it's okay, a greater time for this frame to be completed, because there's 70 pulses that needs to be, yes, okay, that has to travel back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for this frame here to complete. Why? Because he had a double line density compared to this fellow here. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
So how does we put that together? We says, okay, a low line density. What did that lead to? A low chi frame. A low chi frame gave us a high frame rate. A high frame rate gave us, okay, as a good temporal resolution. What was a low line, or what was a great line density's effect going to be? The great line density, a greater chi frame, greater time for the frame to be completed, because more pulses will need to go back and forth, right? Yeah, okay. That will cause the frame rate to be low. And a low frame rate here, guys, gives us a poor or a bad or degraded temporal resolution. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Good. So that's okay. Your questions can be in any crazy way. Clear? Your questions can be in any crazy way. So if the number of pulses in a frame increases, how will that affect your pulse repetition period?
Can you say
This-
that again?
Okay, let me say it again before you step in the soup. But that's you, anybody. If the pulses per frame increases, we have an increase in the pulses per frame. It can be due to any of the three factors, and I'm not going to go into those details now. Clear? Okay. But if the pulses per frame increases, how will that affect your pulse repetition period? I can even write it down. Question of the day. If the number of pulses per frame is increased, how does that increase of the pulses per frame affect the pulse repetition period?
Would it decrease?
What do you say, Lillian? Decrease?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with Lily.
You agree with Lily? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it'll have a shorter PRP for more
Huh?
pulses. Shorter PRP for more pulses.
Okay. So you go with a short PFP too.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, guys.
Lower PRP.
I don't think it affects it.
You don't think it's affected, so it's going to remain the same? Okay. Yes, Christina,
I'm gonna go with Christian.
you're going to go with Christian? Why is that?
Because he usually knows
No, no,
what
no, no, no,
he's
no, no.
talking
Don't go by
about.
Christian. Think by yourself, dear. Kristen is not going to be able to answer your questions on whenever you have your tests.
I know,
Okay,
but
so what are you going to?
I wasn't even sure. So
Okay, listen. Right now, nobody's going to get executed if they get the answer wrong. It's best you answer yes, okay, an honest answer and according to yes, okay, your judgment. Kristen can be wrong too. That's Kristen. Yeah.
I was gonna say decrease.
You were going to say decrease, but then Kristen came in the way. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Good. Okay, ladies. Unfortunately, if you go by what Kristen say, you were not wrong. Kristen was right. Look at the question. If the number of pulses per frame is increased, how will that affect your PRP? Or even if you go vice versa, what was going to be the only factor that affect your PRP?
Depth.
Depth. So here it's okay, now it's not about it's okay, your focal points, right? A number of focal points. It's not about your sector size. It's not about your line density. So just because you increase your pulse, because that was going to, those are the factors that will increase the pulse. Depth affects your PRP. Clear? No, probably not. Yeah, okay. Now, if I say that your chi frame or let's put it this way. If your sector shape or sector size is doubled, and your line density is doubled as well, what is going to be the effect on your chi frame? Listen to the question. Your sector size is doubled and the line density is doubled. You want me to write it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, it's probably going to be easier to listen than to write. The sector size is doubled and the line density is also doubled. how does that affect the T frame?
Christian, if you know it, give us a second, please.
Yes, guys. I even gave you options.
Mike, we have to
Yes.
think. Let us think.
Oh, it's very straightforward here. I can make the question more complicated by putting numbers. That's not going
Well,
to help.
that's okay. It's their first day learning it.
Okay, guys, listen. You guys go hands up. Hands up. Okay. Here we go. Look. Okay. No, it's okay. I know it's okay. Your questions in the back of the book is going to tell you, okay, what the sector size was and what the land density was. We can just say, just to make it simple, our initial sector size was, let's say, okay, 12 centimeters, for instance. That is doubled to, let's say, okay, 24 centimeters. But what is that doubling of the sector size going to do? That doubling of the sector size mainly is okay, going to cause that here we have twice number of pulses, right?
Right, so that doubles the time.
Hold on,
Okay.
not yet, because what we also said was we doubled the line density as well. So here we go, says, okay, this one had been, let's say, it's okay, an angle of 20 degrees, which is going to be doubled, okay? That, okay, becomes 40 degrees, for instance, just by, okay, doubling the size. Okay, so that will be the first doubling. But then we say, it's okay, here we just add, let's say, it's okay, 1 pulse per degree angle, which may mean that, okay, we will add 20 pulses. Okay. Now the degree angle was doubled here, so that's okay. Our B is okay, a direct of okay as just 40 pulses. But then it's okay when we double the line density. That is going to be doubled again. So the line density goes from 1 pulse per degree angle to 2 pulses per degree angle. So here's okay. They're going to end up at 80. So what's the relation between these two here? The chi frame increases 4 times. So if our here was okay, as because it's okay, had been 1 millisecond for this frame here, it will become 4 milliseconds for this. So doubling the sector size is going to just okay cause the chi frame to double once, right?
Right.
Clear? Okay. And then on top of that, yes, okay, yes, okay, double the line density, which is going to cause the chi frame to double again. So double times double means increase 4 times. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Good. Now here we says, okay, chi frame, so it's okay, frame rate will have reduced to 1/4, right? When you increase the frame rate 4 times, the frame at the chi, you increase the chi frame 4 times, the frame rate reduces to 1/4 because they were not only inversely proportional, but also reciprocals. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys missing out anything on this picture here? Okay. Now you can make it in whatever way you want to. Whatever colors you choose to, these are not the standard colors, right? Okay. Or even if you don't want to go color, okay, you should, because otherwise you'll not be able to. Okay. But that was pretty much not all of it, guys. So you guys will have some homework to do. How about would that be?
Good
To
question.
read.
Huh?
To read.
To read, okay. Read what?
That whole chapter.
No, I'm not finished the chapter yet. Okay, guys, please make sure that you go through, yes, okay, what we discussed today. Okay, guys? Okay. Now, when I say homework, what do I mean by that? That I'm going to give you guys something else to read on. And why would I do that? Because that's going to help us, yes, okay, understand the next things that we will be discussing in this chapter here. So I would like you guys to just, okay, look at things such as lateral resolution and axial resolution again. Yeah, okay. And of course, yes, okay, well, things such as lateral resolution, yes, okay, what would be a thing that we should be focusing on is focusing. Clear? Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. So whichever chapters you want to just look at, you can say, chapter 10, that was a lateral and axial resolution. Clear, Focusing, that's also in chapter 10 and chapter 9, for instance. And then you can say it's focusing of beams. Clear? So this will become handy on Monday when we will look upon the relationship between temporal resolution versus axial resolution and lateral resolution. Because as I said in the beginning, it's not going to be always that you want to just or you need a good temporal resolution. If I stand still or just am like a statue or whatever, I'm not going to be moving around, right? I'm a statue. Has the Statue of Liberty moved ever since it has been installed? No. Yeah, okay. So you taking a picture from a location at a specific angle today is going to be the same picture taken from that same location 20 years ago. Clear? You may say, well, the background, things like that might have changed, but that's, of course. But as far as the Statue of Liberty is concerned, well, she has been standing there. Did that make sense? Clear? Okay. There you can say, of course, that's okay. The background changes because, 20 years ago, that's okay. It was a clear sky today. It's foggy, it's raining, it's this, is that. And that things has changed over the course of time. Clear? Okay. So it's not always going to be that you will need a good temporal resolution. You don't need to have a good temporal resolution if you want to take a picture of the Statue of Liberty, or Eiffel Tower, or the Great Wall of China, or whatever, because they haven't moved. Okay. But for instance, if you want to just have a recording of as people coming and going through the Statue of Liberty, well, yes, that will require good temporal resolution. Have you guys ever seen those time lapse videos? Okay. Well, yes, they are relatively a poor temporal resolution because it goes super, super, super fast. You see that as a day and night, and it switches within as a span of, let's say, 24 seconds rather than 24 hours, for instance, right? Okay. Something like that. Did that make sense? So how well would you be able to just follow what actually has been going on in time, minute per minute, second to second, in that fast running time lapse? Not really much, right? But you still see Statue of Liberty or Great Wall of China or whatever. Did you guys get that? Okay. So these will be the relationships that we will establish on Monday. Okay. Now, any questions? So please, that's okay. Related to focus, related to pulses. So for those, that's okay. We need to study lateral resolution and axial resolution. Did you guys get that? Any last word of wisdom?
Oh.
No. Okay. So you're not even going to say, I thought this chapter here was going to be worse than that? That's plain. It's okay, guys. Okay, listen. Okay. You will not learn it the first time. You please, it's okay, you got read it over and over and over again. Okay. But at least I hope that I have been able to just okay push you guys in the right direction. If not, yes, okay, being an analysis, always start running back and forth. That's how you relate it to. That's okay. So if at any point it's okay, you get lost, just think of those things. Greater distance, more focal points, so on, so on, so on, so on. Greater sector shape, greater line density. Okay, guys, now if you have nothing else to say, then I can just say, stay blessed. Have a blessed rest of your day, weekend. And if you come across something, it's okay during the weekend that you think needs immediate attention, send me a one-liner, okay? If not, I see you guys on Monday.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a
God
good
bless.
week.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you guys. Okay, have fun.